caught
Hello,
me
Lynn.
mid-sip.
I'm sorry?
You caught me mid-sip.
Oops. Could have been worse.
Oh,
I'm just going to wait like 30 more seconds and then we're going to start chatting.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Oh.
Okay.
I printed something off that I wanted to share tonight, and somebody has taken it from my printer.
Okay. Let me say hi to everyone first. Hello, I keep massacring your name. Inquisitive farm wife. I hope I said it right.
Yes.
Rem, look at you. We can see your face on your logo.
Yeah, that's an interesting new logo, Remy.
Look at you. Is that your official new logo? Good evening. Hello, Darren. Well, hope you're doing great tonight. Okay, so who's there? Is it Desmond or your companion? I forgot his name. I'm terrible with names.
Trying to find the thing I printed off.
We are excited. Yes. Hello. Okay, so I was right for the first time. Yay! It's Desmond here. Hi, Desmond. Yes, I remember. Okay. Hello, Karen. Hello, Dave. Wow, 2 for the price of 1. Yes. What was the same? Just change my profile. No, this was not your. That was not your profile picture. It was just your logo. Okay, so Sandy's on the phone with his mom. Don't disturb him. If your mom calls, pick up your phone. Did you find your thing?
Yep. Well, I printed it off again because I don't know where it went. Aiden was printing resumes today to take around, and
Didn't he have?
he has a job. Since New Year, he has been getting 1 shift a week. That's it. And Dave and I are really nervous about him continuing to work there. It's not always the safest place to be working.
Okay.
They've had to actually physically remove twice now people who thought it was okay to shoot up illegal drugs in the store. And that makes me very nervous. And when he was out and about cleaning shelves and stocking and stuff, somebody here in our part of Ontario, they give them people who are drug addicts, obviously, and living on the streets, they give them those bins that you can put needles in, and then you take it back to a pharmacy and they'll dispose of it for you. Well, somebody left a full one of those on the floor and by the shelves that he was cleaning. So it's making us very nervous to him to continue working there. And he needs more, like he said, he can't save for a car with 1 shift a week.
Of course, regardless of how high the salary is.
Yeah. So I will say he's making a heck of a lot more money at 16 than I did at my job at 16.
I started well, I'm not going to say how old I was because it was not legal age, but I started working very, 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 very young at my father's company. And it's not slavery, but it was not a lot until I can get my money's worth when I was 16. I think is it 16? 16
I was working. I mean, I babysat until I was a legal 8, and then I blueberry raked too in the summer.
No, I mean to have like a salary.
You can work here in Ontario when you're 15 if you have parents' permission.
Okay, so I don't think there's so much thing as parent in my time when I started work. I think it was 14 or 16. I can't remember, but I worked earlier than 14.
I worked. I had a job at McDonald's that my parents signed off on when I was 14. You were only allowed to work so many hours a week, and you couldn't work past a
Yeah.
certain time at night. And
There's
then,
we can say many bad things about McDonald's, like very, very there's a lot, but there's a lot of good things. They
yeah,
prioritize like they want to hire students
yeah,
because it's a good work ethic. It's a good thing to have on your resume. They recognize that you're students and that you don't like there's so many maximum hours you can work because they want you to succeed in school,
yeah, yeah.
but have the money.
And
It's
then,
good. It's good to have on the resume.
yeah, and when I'd reached 15, I went and worked at the department store that was in our small town, and I worked there until I got married and graduated high school and everything. But when I started, minimum wage where I lived in Maine was $4 an hour.
Okay, so in Maine, that's United States, so that's maybe like
Hmm.
what, $5, $6 here?
Yeah,
Ish?
roughly. Yeah. And I
Five,
remember
six.
by the time I was done, I was earning 425 because I had gotten a couple of raises.
Can you imagine living on that today?
So I told him, I said, "Do you know, Aiden, that his one shift, he makes more in his 1 4-hour shift than I would in like 3 shifts working back when I was his age."
I think minimum wage
So,
was $7 Canadian when I started working, but it was a bit different because I was a waitress.
right. Yes.
So
Yeah.
minimum, I don't know if it's like that now, but I know that as a waitress, it was a different salary. I think it was
Yeah.
six something,
Here, I
and
believe they got rid of the waitress wages, so now they get minimum wage.
okay.
There was a lot of controversy about that. It's probably why all the prices went up in the restaurants.
Well, I
One of
guess
them.
it's one of
One of
the
them.
reasons,
One of
but
them. Yeah. And
uh,
then, so minimum wage here right now is $16.50 an hour, and it's going up again in October.
holy crap, that's
That's a
okay.
lot of money for a
I
16-year-old kid
stopped
who has,
working. I stopped working 8 years ago. Okay,
Mhm.
that was almost my salary per hour. Just a little bit higher than that.
I know. When
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy and what's really sad is it's a lot of money, but it's still not enough for most people to
Wow.
afford rent and stuff here. But yeah, I so he went around, but unfortunately everyone said they're not really hiring to spring, but they still took his resumes. So hopefully, and like he
Well,
said,
you have
I'll
to
just
knock on
get
doors. You have to
yeah,
knock
he
on
said
doors.
and he said, hopefully, he said, I'll just get more experience at the job he's at, that just adds up on, for the time. And hopefully we can get him another, he definitely, like he said, he goes, when summer comes, like he's hoping to work, as many days a week as he can, you know?
Hope
So,
so.
yeah,
I'm gonna catch up on comments so I don't get like half an hour late.
yeah.
I was thinking about in my face, that I don't think even though that picture is like 6 years old or 7 years, it may be more. It kind of represents who I am with the tomato, and maybe put my logo
Yep.
inside of it.
Yep.
We'll see.
Well, it's like
Because
I told Remy, I said, a lot of people may not remember your logo, no matter how good it is, but if they're watching you regularly, they're going to know, oh, that's Lynn. Oh, that's Annie. Oh, that's,
as a content creator, I kind of see patterns. So when I go to a certain channel, I could recognize their thumbnails without knowing it's them. So people use like purple. Let's just say there's a lot like this person ongoing use purples in her thumbnail. If I see purple, my brain's gonna say, okay, it's them. But then obviously like I have to double check. But
right.
like your brain
Yeah.
kinds of get used to it. But our brain can get overstimulated.
Well,
Sometimes you
it's
can
I'm
forget.
finding a lot of people I watch, I notice a lot of them, their logo is just them. Like that's who their
Mm,
profile pic is. So
yeah.
I just
Not
thought,
sure I want to become a logo.
yeah, yeah, I just thought, maybe I'll start putting my picture up there and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Sundays is mom calls for both of us.
good.
Good, good. Maybe I should do that. Uh, Definitely was scary, your story.
Hmm.
I know people that work for their parents. Yeah, I was a little older than that, just slightly older than that. So my friends would wake up like at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and would go to bed like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like a tomboy. We're going outside, playing outside. I wanted to play, and I was kind of sick and tired of waiting for them. So my dad's like, "Why don't you just come work at the office, and then when you get home, they would just wake up."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would get home like around 5:30 from work. I would eat, and then I would play with them, if you want to call it play,
Yeah.
from like 5 to like 9, and then like I would go home because there's no way that I was gonna go to bed at 2, 3 o'clock. Like in my early
That moves you.
the echo.
No, it's all staticky and what is going on?
So this is kind of permanently without calling the I was at 15. I was way I think when I was 5, I started working with that. As a single mother, I made less than people would put more home, which is true. That is like a whole I think raising babies ourselves the more you raise, the more
I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, something's really bad. It almost sounds, I can hear someone else talking, like not us.
Do you want to maybe reduce the computer?
Yeah, I'm gonna I'll try and close it off again and come back and see if that helps.
Okay, I'll read the commentary for you.
Okay.
It's valuable to use the same You can't hear me? Okay, is this better? Okay, so let's do a test. Can you hear me?
Yep, and there's no static and I can't hear. It was weird. It was like I could hear like a third person talking and I'm like, what is going on?
God was talking to you.
Well, I don't know if somebody was trying to like hijack, like kind of come into it was weird. That was very strange. Okay.
Okay, so let's try this. My
Oh,
microphone is like
Remy says
right
it
here.
wasn't me. Okay, good.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, let me go down in comments.
I wonder, and like it was really staticky and I could hear like another voice and then I couldn't hear you at all because the static got so loud.
Really?
Yeah. Seems better.
Okay, so
Okay.
are we good? Because it's important what we have to say.
Yeah. Yes. We hear, they could hear me. I guess it was you.
Really? I'm so sorry. Chérie, tu fais quelque chose sur Internet? That is so weird.
Okay. Did your bread get done?
No, it's going to
Okay.
rain soon.
Okay.
I think I pushed my computer. I think I unhooked slightly my microphone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Could be that because I
Yeah.
just pushed it back in and everything seems to be fine.
Okay. I'm just used to it always being me.
Well, it's not a microphone. It's the microphone's attached to my
Right. Yeah. Okay. Good. We're good now.
So before we get into the juice of why Lynn's here and why the difference in my thumbnail of today, I just want to finish the month of February with my last week of pantry meals because I was still doing the Three Rivers Homestead pantry challenge.
Yep.
Okay, so I keep bringing my jars with you usually, and I show them. This week is all frozen stuff, so I can't really bring it because it kind of defies the purpose. So I just want to go over the different meals I'll be doing this week. So I took out all my fresh vegetables that needed to be sauteed, those soft vegetables like kind of needs passing, and I did a macaroni Chinese with hamburger meat, and we'll be having this for a couple of days and for lunches. And I have a message from Remy. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so and then I took out a piece of pork. I thawed it, and just gonna cook it in a crock pot. And I have green beans in the freezer, and I have cans of potatoes that I need to pass. And the leftovers of that, I'm gonna create this epic sandwich that I do all the time. Add some cheese, some greens that I have. There's gonna be the classic pizza night, and I want to have you inspire me to do this breakfast for dinner. So
Oh,
we're gonna have
that's
salty crepes.
that's our favorite, especially in the wintertime. You
Yeah,
know,
and
it's so
I
cold.
have tortillas in the freezer, so I'm going to do sloppy joes with the leftover meats that we have, or I'll just take out a piece of hamburger. So those are going to be my meals, and I'm slightly converting to it's not simpler, but singular items. So example, I take like a chicken with mashed potatoes and green beans. Like I'm not going to go over
Yep.
the edge
We do
because
that a lot.
the craziness of the season is about to start,
Yep.
and I'd rather have good meals that are easy to whip up than like spend like an hour like I used to do in the colder months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not
I
moving, I swear.
emptied, I think, another 6 jars last week. I can't remember. I stopped losing count, and I don't always catch everybody before they put them away for me, so I can't always. But this, I am planning on doing a lot more stuff out of my freezer because I'm going to be doing some big canning days coming up.
Yeah, I saw it's you that share this. There's like a
Canning March Madness. It's an open collaboration. But
it's raining. I'll be right
okay,
back.
go get me bread. Annie's baking sourdough bread. And it took too long to rise today. And of course, by the time it was ready, it was time to go live. So, oh, we will just wait for her to come back. But yes, I was just going to actually mention that, Angela. Make sure you're all hitting the thumbs up for Annie. I want to make sure I hit it over here. Where are we? So 10 watching, and I only see 4 thumbs up. So make sure you all hit the thumbs up for her. I know we sound like broken records, but it really does. It's the easiest way you can help channels grow is by hitting that little thumbs up. It really does make a difference. Yes, it's March Canning Madness by Cosmopolitan Cornbread. I actually talked about it in my video that went out today, and I tagged her channel. So if anyone wants to go, I've been watching her for over 4 years now, and she's opening it as an open collab. So I'm
I'm
also on
here.
her Instagram. Oh, there she are.
Yeah,
So
I
I
had to
had
grab
a
a
whole
piece.
schedule of stuff I was planning on canning in the next couple of weeks, and I thought, well, now I'm just going to save it for the open collab. So,
Mm.
all right. Well, that's a good segue, Annie. Speaking
Mm.
of collabs,
Yeah. I use molasses for my hermit cookies that requires brown sugars and
that's my father's favorite cookie. My mother makes them, and it's his favorite cookie is hermit cookies. I haven't had one since, oh my goodness, I was probably living at home. I have
yes,
to have my mom make them for me when I see them in April.
bacon and eggs. I have to agree, and
Yep.
sausage, breakfast sausage.
Yep. Have you seen that commercial where guy walks into the kitchen? He goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "What?" He goes, "Are you eating eggs for supper?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's weird." She goes, "You're weird."
Absolutely,
It's a whole thing
absolutely.
about eggs are like, when did eggs become just, I guess it's because chickens lay in the morning. So that's how they kind of started. Like they go out, get the eggs for breakfast kind of thing. But eggs are protein. They're good for any time.
Well, quiche, you eat it
Yep.
either for lunch or dinner. I think it's the way it's presented. Like sunny side up. It's like or
Maybe. Yeah. I think,
scramble. It
yeah.
kind of sounds like, but you know, uh, peanut butter and jelly sandwich can be eaten morning, afternoon, and for dinner. So
When we had the flu, I lived on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's what I ate.
yes. Don't forget to do thumbs up.
Yep, I
March
told them all.
Canning Madness by yes.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
So I might join in because since now we kind of have March planned out.
Yep.
and I'm hoping to like put in like a normal content for the
Yep.
week. I can picture myself maybe doing like
Yep.
one or two, one recipe.
All you have to do is just tag her in your video and she'll add it to the
Yeah.
master playlist she's making. Yep.
So I want
And
to watch her video first
yes,
because I want to
she is
follow
doing
her
a
rules.
giveaway. Yeah, she's doing a
Um,
giveaway at the end of it.
okay.
So, just so
Well,
if
I
you want
want
to
to follow her
mention,
rules because it is an open collab, and
yeah,
when an open collab goes on, like I want to make sure that I follow what she
yeah,
requires.
yeah.
Speaking of collaboration, me and Lynn came with something super, 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 super fun. It kind of came with one of my ideas, and I had to team up with you. Like you're baking queen, and as soon as I had that idea, I was like, I have to talk to Lynn. We have to come up with something. And I was not thinking it was going to get this exciting. Like I had this vision, but I never thought it was going to become this. And like from this, if ever this picks up, I don't know, like maybe something can actually happen from this. Cause
Yeah, like, yeah, like Andy and I were talking today. We're hoping next year we'll make it like a real collab where we'll have everybody do something and like, but my brain just did not have the capacity for that next.
well, we
I
kind of
just,
need to test the theory first to
yes,
see if it
yeah,
works.
yeah. I'm still trying. I've got this last week of the freeze at February, and then I got to do the giveaway next week. So I'm like, yeah, I
It's
just don't
March
have the
6th,
energy.
right?
Yep, to
Okay.
schedule all the people and everything. So I just thought, no, Annie and I are good friends, and this is something that I think we're going to have fun doing together. I'm really excited. I
I
can't
am
wait.
too. So the idea came with this humongous jug of molasses that I have. And
I
I'm
should go
like,
get mine. Mine's a great big,
yeah,
it's
it's a
a
big
gallon.
one that
Yep.
I have. And I was like, I know it doesn't expire like right away, but I've been looking at it, and the reason why I got it is because I wanted to create more recipes out of it. And I kind of no, I didn't fell through with that. So, and then I find myself using it a lot in recipes that needs honey. And I was switching it up like I did in my Graham sourdough discard recipe, and I
Yep.
switched. So it's not a Graham cookie, but it kind of is. It's just a little bit darker, and the kids here really love it. So I kind of like went back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, I have to find more recipes, and me and Lynn came with super fun
Oh, I can't.
recipes to try.
I'm so excited to try the
But
one.
before we get into that,
Yep.
molasses seems to be like, it's just molasses, but it's not.
It is very healthy for you. And I will say, my grandmother used to take either a tablespoon of molasses every day or she'd have it on a piece of bread in the morning every single day. My mom, I was talking to my mom about this and I'd forgotten that. And I think a lot of people have forgotten, but 1 tablespoon of molasses contains manganese, magnesium, copper, vitamin B6, selenium, potassium, iron, and calcium. It's also been known to help. Maybe this is why my grandmother took it because it's almost like a natural remedy for certain things, especially diarrhea and constipation and
I
things
like
like
how you
that.
said that.
Not the greatest word, but yeah, and it's a good source of iron, selenium, and copper, which will help bones, which is also very good for us ladies as we are approaching, out of our some of us out of our 40s. We need to start thinking of that. And it's delicious. I love molasses. It's so tasty. And it's just the fact that, this is what they used in the winter a lot, like, 1800s for sweetener. It was molasses they used. Right. And I think we've gotten out of it's kind of come out of style, I think, a bit.
There's
To use.
also when animals kid, I see a lot of after kidding for it's not sheep, it's what is it called? It's a dairy animal.
Oh,
Goat.
goat. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of goats birth,
Yep.
and like everyone says, "Oh, go get the molas." I don't know what's in it, but I've seen a lot of farmers or goat keepers to as soon as mama would kid, they would give
Yep.
molas and
Yep.
other certain other stuff, So I kind of find that interesting. Like a simple ingredient is actually used to
Yep.
boost the immune system, probably of a new mom
Well,
after
it's
giving birth.
the selenium that's in it, because selenium used to be in our soil, and the animals would eat it, and now they're in North America especially, selenium is very deficient, and a lot of
Deficient.
animals have, yeah,
Oh, okay.
a lot of
I've
animals
heard that
have to
word.
give
That
birth. Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of our
for
animals
selenium.
are since that word deficient.
Yep, yep. I
Okay.
know. My grandparents had a horse, Jim. He loved molasses, loved it, mixed in with a little bit of his oats. He loved it.
Okay, let's make a debate. Is it molasse or molasses?
I think it depends on where you're from. Where I'm from, it's molasses.
Because in
So
French, it's not that.
no, I know. I know it's not.
In
It's the
French,
same way.
it's melasse.
Okay, and it's the
Melasse.
same way you say graham crackers. You say graham, we say graham.
Graham. Wait.
Yeah, we say graham. Yeah. So if anyone
Yes.
was wondering what she was talking about, she's talking about graham crackers.
You know those square that
You use with
you
scores.
put like a squishy thing marshmallow, and then you
Yeah.
put like little pieces of chocolate and you squish it together and you melt it. Well, that's what I
Mhm.
mean.
Yeah,
It's called.
yeah. Angela's saying too, it is a sugar boost too that helps give them the quick energy they need after. We all they ought to
Okay,
get that from
so
moms.
Jotam says molasses does not go bad. Okay, it's good to know.
I've heard that. I mean, I will tell you, I've had molasses a long time and still used it. So
I'm
we're
coming
we're
up with
still alive.
ideas. I've already canned up frozen tomato. Okay, so that's she's talking about the kolam.
Yeah.
Plasma makes your belly move. Are you talking about bowel movement?
Yep.
Okay. I
Yep.
said it, I said it clean, bowel
Yeah.
movement.
I will also I just found this out today that cannabis growers use molasses in their soil because it helps the plant grow.
You know?
I'm like,
If okay, why not? Why not? I had molasses bean yesterday because I did see a recipe of green beans with molasses, and I was very, very tempted to choose that one for one of our recipes, but I did not. Now that you're mentioning it, and I kind of regret it.
so so when Annie asked, what would you I said, I think this is great. So we literally planned everything all out on, was it Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And like 4 or 5 hours, like the thumbnail, the opening video, the schedule, what we're each going to make. We planned it all out. And the videos are going to start
March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Sunday, March 3rd, I think.
Yep.
Um,
And so every Sunday and Thursday.
okay,
And they'll be
so
posted 3 p.m. on Sunday and 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. So that way you
Thursday.
all know that they're coming at the same time frame. And then we're going to do a special bonus one on the 31st because that's the last day of March and it's the last Sunday. You're going to get both of us on the same day.
Okay, so we came up with different. So we came up with. I'm not going to say with what, but we came up with snacks,
Yep.
breads. Well,
Yep.
those.
Bread's going to be a good one because it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle between
there's
Nova
going to be a battle
Scotia
between
and
us.
Neverland.
There's going to be desserts.
Oh, I can't wait to do the dessert.
There's going to be a full meal.
Mm-hmm.
Did I forget anything?
Full meal.
A full meal. Okay, so I said I said this. I said this.
Breakfast. So, did we say breakfast?
Oh yes, and breakfast. Okay, so my notes is a bit lower. I have to go lower in my notes. And there's going to be a inspired breakfast. It's not going to be like a traditional Monday to Friday. I'm going to work breakfast, but it could be things you do ahead of time and like grab it and go.
Yep. So I am so excited. And I have to tell you, the family's excited because most of us all like some kind of molasses, something like everyone, but David's work's going to be very happy because I am going to send some of the baked stuff there because if it's here, we will eat it.
So. Yes, we did try to specifically choose the ingredients.
Yep.
If there is like ingredients we do not believe in, we're gonna swap it out
Yep.
and replace it. I think there's one of the recipes that called for like vegetable oil, and I'm gonna sweep it up with something else. I think it's my dessert. I would have to check, but I
Yeah.
know that there's one that has vegetable oil, and I
I
don't
was gonna
use
say,
vegetable oil.
and it's blackstrap molasses we're using. We're not
Yes.
using the ones that have sulfur. No,
No, no,
it's
no. I'm using I bought mine at OM Food. It's
yeah.
organic
And
matter.
I got mine, or mine's organic, and I got mine
Yeah.
at a bulk place too. So
Okay, so goats. I also use dairy cows. That's nice. Okay,
yeah,
it's a sugar boost. Hello, Karen.
they
This is the
should give
first.
they should give a tablespoon of molasses to new moms after they have babies. Here's a
French
little sugar
doesn't
boost.
pronounce vowels and at the end of the words.
No, you all don't. You don't. I always say to David, French people don't finish their words.
Hold on. Well, it depends. French Canadian, maybe. Quebecers, like, we have weird expressions.
Because when I was like, when the kids were in French, and then David took French language too through the military several times. He was actually trying to become bilingual, and then a whole bunch of crap happened. Anyway, and he'd tell me how to say a word, and I'm like, why aren't you saying that last letter?
Okay, so I'm trying to think. So a word that would finish with a vowel in French. Hold on.
Is it like one is just like you don't say the
Well, you know when we say on,
mm-hmm.
it's like on. So
Yep.
it's like there's like a specific, but on is like two. So it's a vowel O
Like
and an
blanc,
N.
blanc for white is white or black? Black, right? Blanc.
White is blanc.
Yeah, you don't say.
But the last the C is a quiet letter.
Yeah, it's just there for support, I guess.
But the female version of white, which is blanche, blanche,
Blanche. Okay.
blanche. The E is kind of not pronounced, but it depends. Like in poems, sometimes the E's are the vowels are pronounced because they want to rhyme.
Okay. Okay.
But like in a cup of coffee, tasse de café. Tasse, the E, Tasse, tasse. We don't say
Okay.
tasse because tasse means move. Tasse-toi.
This is
So
why I don't.
it's funny.
I love how they say the English language is actually the hardest language to learn, and I get that because we have, so many
It's
words that
irregular
have,
verbs. It's
yeah, and
irregular
we have
verbs.
words that sound the same but they mean totally different. And then it's like Grace is like, "Why is this spelled like this?" I said, "Because it's the English language, and that's the stupid way they spelled it."
I find the English language more romantic
Oh, really?
than
Okay.
the French. I am French. I'm gonna probably get stoned for this,
Mhm.
but I find that it's because I don't know. There's certain words that sounds better in poems, and French is kind of hard. There's so many things complicated, but then the irregular verbs kind of like punches you in the teeth when
I
you try
don't
to do
know. A
something.
French guy could read from the phone book to me, and it would sound like romantic and sexy.
Wait. So French Canadian is not the same as French from
Right, and that's what my David. That's what his grandparents were. They
France.
were French Canadian,
Yeah, so
Arcadian,
French from
Arcadian
France, La
French.
France, the not the slang language, but like the old language of France. It's beautiful the way that they pronounce certain things. I could listen to them talk for hours, but
Because
then when they start swearing, I'm gone.
it seems like Arcadian French. If they're talking to someone from Quebec or France, nope, it don't work.
Well, Rémi's a bit Acadian,
Right? Yep.
and I had a hard time understanding his accent when I started. Now I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But
And it's like I have a friend who married a Canadian military guy, and she's from Belgium. And she said, for the most part, it was the same here, the French that she was speaking, and the French here. But she said it was funny. There were certain like slang words that would be totally different, and she didn't know what they were talking about and stuff. It's just weird how it's so different,
I do
And
get this comment often, though. So I am French. My mother tongue is French. I was brought up in French, but I learned English when I was 5. So I've almost been bilingual most of my life. So when I speak French, No one believes I'm French. They believe I'm English because I don't have an accent.
No, you don't. I
And
know.
then when I speak English and I say, no, I'm French. Like, you're not French. I'm like, yes,
French.
I am.
Yeah, I know. You have like no French accent.
Yeah. And the irony is then, because like I speak to you guys in English, and then with my family I speak in French, there's time that my brain like doesn't want to let go of the other language, and I'm like, my brain gets confused because
I
I switch
bet.
from English. And then
Yeah.
the worst part is when I speak franglais. So I speak part French, part English,
You're
and then go back to
English.
French, and then go back to English, and then people are looking at me like, what is she talking about?
Yeah. Oh, but
Okay, so
yeah,
yep, we buy a lot of salt mineral licks
yeah,
for our
that has
Highland
selenium.
cows, all those
Yeah.
salt blocks.
Yep.
I had to giggle during your video, Annie. You said Graham different. I'm so sorry. Well, actually, it is. I
I
like
mean, you're saying it the way it's spelled. Like,
Graham, but it's
yeah.
actually the. So I think Graham is the name. So a dude would be called Graham.
Okay. See,
But I
here in
think
English, it would be Graham. It would just be
okay,
Graham.
okay,
Yeah,
because
we
we
wouldn't say
probably
the
because we
A.
pronounce the H.
Yeah. Yeah. But I
Okay.
mean, it's like in England, they don't say herb, they say herbs, right? Because they pronounce the H. So I've gotten because we watch so much English stuff, I actually start saying herbs now.
Um,
And
I think
they
I
don't
don't wait.
say, yeah, they
If I
say
don't think what if I don't think so I say time is an herb, so I don't
herb,
pronounce the H. I don't
right? Because
pronounce
we
the H.
don't, yeah.
But
But in
then
England, they say,
Graham, I pronounce
yeah, you
it.
pronounce the H. So that's what I mean. It's all topsy turvy crazy.
So that's my French and English brain. I'm so sorry. It is what it is. It's who I am. So what do you have to try? I lost track.
Yeah, I don't know what we were talking about.
Molasses is also great for making rum. I was about to say that, but I lost track. So
Yes,
definitely.
yes, yeah, they do make, yeah, they use it for I think beers, some beers too. Don't
Yeah.
quote me because I'm not a
Um,
drinker, but I think
that
I
black
remember,
beer. That black
yeah,
beer. Isn't it made of molasses?
a
Molasses?
stout or something. Doesn't stout have molasses? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't drink, so I don't know, but like one of my, and funny because one of the recipes that we're doing calls for whiskey. Lynn's not using whiskey. I don't have whiskey. I'm not buying whiskey for the little bit I need for this recipe.
Is that the full meal?
Yes. Yeah. So
I
it's
think
okay.
there's
I've already got my substitution that I'm going to
okay.
use, but
There is web substitutions that you can get.
yeah, but I will share what the full recipe is.
Don't
Um,
worry. All my life,
yeah.
it's been an ongoing battle. So, short story. My name is inspired by that movie, Annie. I don't know if you guys, that red hair,
Little
curly
Orphan
hair.
Annie?
So my dad really, really loves this movie. My sisters too. So my name comes from there. But I've never watched it. I don't know what it is. All I know is that girl dances on the stair with that big
Oh
afro.
my gosh. I literally, when I was like 8 and 9, that was like my favorite movie. I must have seen it 1,000 times.
They made I think they made a remake also, but I
Yeah,
never
I didn't
watched
care.
it.
I like the little. I like the. I've even watched it with the kids, and Gracie's watched it with me. And
Yeah.
it's a hard knock life. So
Yeah,
the kids are
so
like,
that's
I don't know
where
these names.
my name comes from, but my dad
Okay,
says I want her to I want it to be different, so they
right.
decided to put a Y.
Yeah.
And I did the same with my kids. Each of my kid has a Y in their name. So
Okay.
I carried on. But the teachers kind of hate me, and my kids are like, "They write my
Yeah.
name wrong." I'm like, "Well, deal with it," because I've been dealing with it all
My
my
sister.
life.
My sister spelled her youngest Alyssa with an I instead of a Y, and she has to correct it. And we told her, I said, Jillian, they're going to correct this the rest of her life.
Well,
This is
you kind of forget it because pronunciation. If you call me Annie or Annie,
mm-hmm.
it's the same thing. I'm
Yeah.
used to it by now. So
Yeah.
it did offend me younger, in those teenage young years.
Yeah, it does Aiden too because everyone tries to spell his name wrong, and he gets so upset because he's like, I put it on there the way it's spelled, so why aren't they? I'm like, I know. My name though, my name is simple, Lynn. Everybody here in Ontario tries to call me Lynette. They think it's short for something. I'm like, it's Lynn, Lyn. They try to put an E all the time on the end. No,
In French, it's Lyne. No. I know it, in French, I know there's an E at the end. Lynn.
Yeah, there's no E. I was named after the country singer Loretta Lynn.
That's nice.
My father adored her, loved her, and that's where it came from. He named me after that. Thank God he didn't name me Loretta. That's a little bit hard name when you're 7 or 8 or 10 or 13.
It's an older name, a little
Yeah,
bit. It's like
yeah.
when you well, actually, older names are coming. When I was pregnant,
I should say that I have a great aunt Loretta. So
I was pregnant, about to give birth to Emilia, and there was this little boy. He was so small, so sweet. He was barely walking, and his mom's like, "Come here, Arthur. Come here."
yeah,
My
yeah.
heart was. I love everything around the Arthur subject.
Yeah.
And I looked at the boy. I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so precious." Oh, there's some people don't like old names, but I
Yeah,
find that
I do like some of them. I mean, and then try having our last name, Guitar. It's easy, right?
yeah. I actually massacred your name. I put an E at the end.
Oh no, there's no E. And people will say, "Can you spell that?" I'll say, "Just like the instrument," and they'll like, "Can you spell it?" Guitar. Oh, like the instrument.
That's what I just said. That was like,
We're doomed. We're doomed.
Damn.
Oh,
Okay.
and
Comment wise, we're a bit late. So
Yep.
some molasses has sulfur added. Organic brands do joy. It's worth. I would say reading a label is something I do regularly.
a lot, yeah. And
Especially now.
It's not just organic molasses. You can get molasses that's non-organic without sulfur.
Yeah. So example, there's yogurts that I used to eat, and now they changed up a little bit their ingredients. So I like once in a while I always check. Like I have my tried and true things that I enjoy buying every week, but once in a while I just turn around like, ooh, that changed.
Well,
You have to read your label.
They change ingredients regularly lately. So
Yeah. Well, it
depends.
depends. I don't buy prepackaged stuff unless yogurt is considered a prepackaged stuff, because for me yogurt is like fermented food. But like cheese is basic. Like it's one of the oldest way of making stuff, and I don't buy like high-end cheese, so that doesn't change. But like
I would
crackers,
love to buy high-end cheese, but
yeah, crackers.
regular cheese is already high-end.
Yeah. Regular mozzarella is kind of getting like
it's like butter. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to buy Irish butter, but just buying plain old regular butter costs me a fortune.
Yeah. Constant at the end of the words, like Manon, you don't pronounce the N. Hello, life in the valley.
I thought her name was Manon.
It's Manon.
So it's Manon. So I don't.
Yeah. Because in English, you're going to pronounce the N, Manon. But it's Manon.
Yeah. So you don't say the first N. Or you don't say the last N.
So O-N in French, it's on. On. When you see two letters, one next to each other, and it says O-N, it's on. So it's M-A, ma. Then you pronounce the N, which is Manon. It's complicated in French.
Okay, all right. I've been pronouncing it wrong.
It's like I'm teaching Tracy 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that because I learned that with the kids. And I can do bonjour.
Bonjour.
And bouche de Noël. I can say that.
Can you say that again?
Bouche de Noël. Bouche de Noël. Bouche du Noël.
Oh, bush, not bush, bush. Because bush, ooh, that's a mouth. Bush is a log. Gotta love French.
Okay, so I've been saying that wrong.
So it's not ooh, it's ooh, bush.
Okay. What's the other thing? There used to be a song that David said they learned in French when he was a kid, something about head. And something
knees and toes.
Something about the mouth. I can't remember now what he used to say, but yeah.
French is a complicated language.
I took Spanish and German in high school.
Okay. So this is fun. Okay, so I understand what this means. So un verre s'en va vers. Those are all different words.
They
So
look
are
the same.
all pronounced the same. So VER, isn't it VERRE pour un verre de terre? Okay, so the third word, VERT, that's a verb, and it's un verre, sorry, wait. No, VERT, that's a color green.
That I knew because I've
Okay.
actually seen that. Like,
Okay, so s'en va is going. Vers, VERS, that's towards. Le verre, VERRE, that's a glass.
this must be so hard for little ones in school to remember
Yeah, and then the
words
last one
first.
is the color green. But like, I
Green.
think our verre de terre is
Oh,
VERRE.
I also know poulet.
Poulet, that's chicken.
Yeah, that was one of the first words I learned when I married David because it was flipped over when we were buying chicken. And I
Okay,
said to him,
so
I said, "What the heck is Paulette? We don't know
poulet,
what Paulette."
it's chicken. So un verre vert s'en va vers le verre vert in English is a green worm is going towards the green glass.
Jeez. Okay, I gotta get
I
right. I
love
can't
French.
do these comments.
I'm a bit behind. Okay, so Annie, I can't with
Oh,
French
it's
accent.
funny, Angela, because David had a French class trip to Quebec when he was in grade 9. They went, and I'm just reading. I'm probably a little ahead of you, but
I don't like the slang French from France. I like the poetic French,
yeah,
like the
yeah,
older language,
yeah.
because in French, they say, sorry for English people. So, je vais manger une toast dans mon toaster. Je vais mettre mon char dans le parking. That's how they speak with the English accent. You understood a couple of those words because
You sounded angry.
yeah. So that's the mix of Quebec and French. And the French people from France is adapting to that. So they no longer
Okay.
say, so toast in French is a rôti. Like I'm eating a toast, je mange une rôti. But now they say toast. Instead of saying in the grille-pain, they say toaster. And then
Okay.
instead of saying, and you're supposed to say stationnement, but they say parking because it's a slang language.
Okay.
So
Well,
they're massacring the old language. Well, Quebec, we're doing that. We've been doing that for years, but
yeah, I will say that I remember hardly anything from Spanish. The only reason I know any Spanish is because Grace, when she was little, loved Dora the Explorer. That's why I know. And then
I
German.
used to love that.
Oh, that's the only reason I know the Spanish I know. And I took German class, but the class had no heat in the winter. And all I can remember from that class is how cold I was, like literally in our winter coats with our gloves on, hats, sitting in class,
They were
trying to
preparing
learn.
you for Russia.
Yeah, you can't concentrate like when all you're thinking about is how cold you are. Like I
Yeah.
remember the swear words. I know
I
my
only know one phrase in Spanish or
yeah,
two.
I was born in Germany because my dad was American Army, and they picked up some stuff. But yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
just so
take a walk
funny.
in the woods, totally different in English. Québécois and France in French. Okay, so taking a walk is prendre marche en forêt. That's the actual translation. And prendre marche en forêt, is there an expression for that? I forgot. I got exempt from French class. I can't speak a word.
Yeah, Aiden actually
My
got
stepmom and my step siblings are from Danford, Lake, Quebec, and they're fluent in both languages. Hello. Okay, this is a name that I will massacre. I'm so sorry. Jorgensen?
It's Alana. Her first name is
Alana.
Alana.
Hi.
Yep. She's from over at my page.
Well, welcome.
Yep. So yeah,
Form a
Aiden
line.
got Aiden got exempt too from French class, not because he was fluent, because it was a trigger for him with his Tourette's.
Okay.
So
Form a line would be fenling, but that can also be like drug related. Do a line.
okay. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness.
Thomas's hard language. It's a hard. Yeah, it
Oh,
is. My husband is French Canadian as well, with the name like Mayu. Oh, it's true. No, sorry, maillot. We say it differently in French. Would example anything else. I am not understood. Wait, I am not understood speaking French in Quebec, and people in Ontario don't understand me either.
I don't have a problem understanding Remy. I
Uh,
really, I mean, sometimes if you and Mary Lynn and him are talking for longer than a few minutes, I'll start to have a hard time because I think he kind of all three of you a little bit. The accents will start because yeah. But for the most part, I've never had a problem understanding Remy. So
French accent, it's easier for me. It's like if different parts of the world speak French differently,
right.
where French is the spoken language. English. If I listen to Scottish people speak English, I don't understand at
It
all.
depends on where they're from. Some of them have a
They'll
very
speak
thick
on the
burr.
nose and like it's like super congested
Yeah.
language.
And if they have a very thick burr, it's
Yeah.
Irish too, depending on where you are. English. We have neighbors next door from England, and when Chris gets talking, sometimes I can't understand a word he's saying, and he's talking in English, but his
If
English accent
if
gets
they
so
speak too fast, there's certain things I don't pick up, but I can somewhat understand.
yeah.
Texas, down south.
I get accused all the time of being from Texas.
No.
People are like,
Uh-uh.
Lynn, are you from Texas? You have quite
Uh-uh.
the southern drawl. And I said, no, I have
You
a
have
native
a
call.
little bit
Yeah.
slight accent,
Yeah.
but you're not Texan. When I used to have to call my US office in Texas, and I told them, look, I love speaking to you on the phone, but we can't do this. Like I keep asking you to repeat all the
Yeah.
time because like
Yeah.
you speak like you have a potato in your mouth.
Yeah.
So I told them, okay,
It's
email
the
only.
drawl. It's the
Yeah.
drawl. And people say that out to me. Like, you have quite the drawl. So I thought you were from Texas. And I said, no, David calls it my Americana. It's my American Canadian accent have like merged. And that's why. I will
Mm,
tell you, when I worked for a towing company, and sometimes we have a lot of American, truck drivers coming through here. And there was a lady who would call when one of her trucks broke down, and she was from Georgia. She goes, hello, Lynn. This is Sammy from Georgia. We're calling because we got one of our drivers in your area again. Do you think you could go out and help our fella out? And we would talk.
what's
I
that name? Not Mississippi.
It was Georgia. She was from
No, but
Georgia.
there's a little bit south than that. Baton Rouge. Where is that? New Orleans.
Oh, that's New Orleans. Yeah.
The new.
And
I love their
to
accent,
get on
but they.
the phone with her, though, the guys would all, because I worked with all men, they'd all laugh because for like 20 minutes, I'd have this Southern Georgian accent. I couldn't get rid. So, yeah.
Imagine when someone speaking English tries my name for the first time. Remy, or Arsenault. Maybe that's maybe a little bit harder to say. Is that what you're saying? They are
David,
putting.
David can understand probably, I don't know how much now. He used to be able to understand a lot more than talk it. Like he could, enough to understand what they were saying, but
If I had the choice, if I had to make a choice, I would prefer understanding it than speaking it. Because speaking it does not mean you understand it. Like anyone can actually be taught to say a
yeah.
couple of phrases. I would prefer understanding it
I
because
mean,
there's
nowadays with our cell phones, it makes going, because you can pull
yeah.
up the translator and, can have.
Yeah, but you won't remember it. If you tell something to your phone, I don't know, where is the bathroom? And then that voice translator makes it in the language you want to speak, you won't remember it.
Okay, so Remy, then I've been saying your name wrong all these years and you haven't corrected me.
Where's Remy?
He's saying it. He says people say my name Remy, instead of Remy.
It's
I say Remy, which is
well, it's with
kind
the
of
English accent. It's with the English If you say it in French, like I'm
Remy.
French, I'm going to say Remy. But I is I. So you say Rem, like you kind of say it.
Yeah, I say Remy. But
Yeah.
now I'm wondering if I've been saying it.
Okay, so what did I miss? They put more fillers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that with cornstarch, like cornstarch, you know, you can't go wrong. Well, it is corn, but I mean tapioca starch, potato starch. Potato starch can actually be made, if I read correctly, with potato peels. Like it's a
Yes.
byproduct. So it's something that goes to waste. So I don't understand. I am loving this language lesson. I took Spanish classes in the middle school. So if you want to learn very important phrase in Spanish, this is like ¿Cómo te llamas?
Oh, yeah.
How you called. So
Yeah.
me llames, I am called Anita. My
Yeah.
name's Annie. So
Yeah.
Anita is in Spanish. And the second most important phrase is una cerveza con limón, mucha, mucha fría. So it's one beer, please. Super cold. And you can say con limón with lime. So this is like a very important phrase.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
What did I miss?
I just
I don't remember much either language. We won't ever forget our French club trip. Maybe I mixed them up. Any.
the ver, vert, verti, ver, all those V
It
ones you
doesn't
did.
matter. Like we understood the concept.
Hello, Helena.
Okay, so mush.
Helena. See, now I'm going to be second guessing myself every time I say a name.
Okay, so mush, Mouche, that's a fly. Mush, like a black normal fly.
Oh, okay.
Mushy is something like gooey.
Yeah.
In
Also,
French,
now that's the same in English because mushy is like something.
so mushy in French would be. I think we would use the slang language. See mushy, see. We won't say mush because mush is an actual. It's for fly.
That's a good name for a fly. Mush.
Mush. Mush. Lynn, most French people can't write properly even after 5 years of university. Damn. And when I say most, I mean like 99% of French people. Well, French language is like my nemesis. Like I hated French. So I'm kind of happy that I have like that, you know, when you write on your phone, like they somewhat correct me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, now I have like English and French. And sometimes when I speak to you, my corrector makes me say something in French because I didn't change the language and they make me say something really stupid. Be very, very, very careful. What did I miss? Okay, so Elise, what's your name? This one. Alana. France, where did their comment go? Oh, there's a. So French is much easier for me to understand than Quebecois. Yeah, I am Quebecer, and I prefer speaking French Canadian than the slang Quebec because we have like instead of saying me is moi. But in French, in Quebecer, we say moi. You know the moi.
You sound like you're annoyed.
Yeah, it's like nonchalant. It's I don't know. It's attitude like moi, toi, parking. I don't know. It's not very cute.
No.
And we were in Outaouais Hills in the French dialect. Here it's impossible to understand. People would pronounce my name re, my. Oh, well, I was called Anai. So my English people, I was called Anai because my last name, my name finishes with a Y. I'm like, no, it's Annie. Come on. Mary, would you say Mary?
No.
No, you'd say Mary. Ever since Angie asked me once if I had to translate in my head, I realized I struggle more. Yeah.
Yeah, like I always wonder like people who speak more than, one language, and when someone's speaking to you in one of the languages, but your first language is like French, do you hear it in French first and then you translate it into English in your head? So
it's complicated.
Yeah, I bet.
Being a bilingual person, you have like I read in French but think in English sometimes because ever since I started homesteading and creating content, I have to read in French, read in English, and create in English.
Yeah.
So I have kind of tendency of like being English here, and I'm trying like to as much as I practice my English, I try to practice more my French because I don't know if my kids will pick up the language like I did.
Well, now your husband, didn't you? He is not very
Correct.
bilingual, right? He's
When I met him, it was yes, no, mustard, thank you, and all the bad words.
Why does everyone always know the bad word?
Because it's easy.
But yeah, that's
And then he was thrown into the.
do your kids speak English at all, or are they 100% French?
Okay, so now in Quebec, I don't know everywhere if it's like that. They start English teaching in grade 1.
Okay.
So my middle son, which is going to be 10 soon, understands English, speaks it slightly.
Okay.
So I'm doing exactly what my dad did to me when I was young. So he would make me watch something in English, not understand it, and then make me watch it in French.
Oh, you know what? I bet you that works. So, because then you're like, oh, yeah,
So
what you're saying.
I watch like Return of Jafar in English, but Aladdin,
Okay.
it was in French.
Okay.
But then when I would go to my friend's house, they all had it in French. So like I was exposed to multiple language all the time. And he would make rules. Okay, so Sunday night dinner is only in English.
Okay.
So I would sit at a table. I was 5 years old, and I was like,
Yeah.
I did not understand what they were
So
saying. So
he wanted you to be bilingual.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we would travel a lot on the boat when I was young for about 3 to 6 weeks every summer. And he left me on a dock of for a boat. And he's like, okay, so my name's Annie. Do you want to play with me? Where's the bathroom? What time is it? So I had like key phrase. And
Right.
then I would meet people my age. And then I would go back to my dad. I was like, Dad, he said this to me. What did it mean? And then we would talk during that dinner only in English.
Oh, cool.
My mom literally disapproved of that method because she's like, she's going to feel left out. But it kind of motivated me since I was very young to learn the language. By that end of that summer of my 5 or 6 year, I was considered bilingual for my age.
Okay.
So during those years, I don't know what it is now today, what we're supposed to speak in, but like I could have a full conversation with an adult in 2 languages with
Okay.
the level of school I had. I think it was like in first grade or pre-K or something like that. So I try to do the same thing with my children because we're sponges.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
So
definitely learn a lot more when you're younger than
yeah, like I don't
I
approve
grew
too
up
much.
in Maine, so like we didn't have, I mean, my parents' best friend, she was from Austria. And she
Oh,
would say she would say some, word like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like she was from
yeah,
Austria. Yeah. And she would teach us like few phrases and stuff. And she was also one of the cafeteria lunch ladies at our school.
nice.
And we'd go through the line and she'd say, "What is this?" And she want us to say it,
It's
like
perfect.
that.
It's perfect.
But I mean, I can't hardly remember any of that anymore.
You would
But
just have to practice. So
yeah.
the only thing I don't agree is the content that they choose to watch in English. They watch like that YouTuber called Steve.
Yep. Yep.
It could be worse,
Yeah.
but they understand most of what. There's no violence. There's no drugs.
Right.
It's stories created for YouTubers. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a content creator, so I can't be too judgmental. But
Yeah.
I would hope that my son, like he's young, so I'm trying to introduce him to the off-grid boys or the off-road boys or something
Oh yeah.
boys.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
It's a dad with their 2 sons that like.
Yeah, it's funny because one of the ladies I watch, A Country Life, Jennifer, her son Peter loves that show.
Yeah,
She
so I'm
talks
trying to
about it.
slowly convert my
Yeah.
boys to that because it's like more content I would like them to watch. And I was surprised. Cedric is considered he was diagnosed with a severe language issue. And he understands English and he speaks English.
Oh,
So I asked the school, I'm like, are you not going to give him English? Because like he needs to understand French first. He's
right.
like, no, we're going to teach him English. And if ever he doesn't pick up, like, it doesn't matter. Like, he has like 6 years to learn
Right.
English
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
English starts to get important like around 5th grade, 6th grade. That little speaks English. He's 7 years old. So I'm like, okay. So every time he watches something in English, I don't nitpick. If he prefers the content or whatever bonums he wants to watch is English, I'm like, okay, fine, watch it in English. So like exposing them young is better.
Yeah. I want to mention too, Wednesday over on my channel, Annie's coming over and we're going to talk about March Molasses Madness. Try saying that sometimes fast.
Yeah. So in my Graham my Graham cookie video, I called him num num num.
That now. That's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to start calling him
M. So it's it's multiple M's.
Yep.
Hello, Elena. So we didn't say the hashtag. So the hashtag will be March Molas Madness. This is definitely going to be a mouthful. So it is. So it's us two bringing content to you guys around molasses. But if you want, and you want to try a recipe with molasses, and you wanted to share it with us, you can just use the hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we won't pick up everything, but if we do, at least we'll be able to go check out new recipes.
So
I think you've missed the other chance. Mushy. No, I did. Mush.
No, I think it's X-rated.
Mushy.
I don't think I want to know.
Darren, are you being naughty? Sounds like Darren's cow. Okay, then again, we live in Saint-Raymond, not in the big city. See, again, if you look at the name of their town, okay, so Saint, ST is Saint. It's an abbreviation for Saint. And then Raymond, we pronounce the M, we pronounce the O-N, but we don't pronounce the D. Gotta love French.
Oh, Lord.
Brigitte says she now dreams in English instead of French. So she
no, Angela, it's not an open collab. I don't even like using the word collab. I was trying to come up with another name, project or.
It's us getting together, sharing recipes around molasses. Let's just leave it like that. We could potentially, if this like actually gets the attention, we could make a collaboration in March next year. I can either open or close, whatever we want to decide.
We'll start planning it in January so people are to sign up.
So, Darren, does Brigitte say, voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Do you know what this means? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Moulin
Isn't that
Rouge?
from a song?
Yeah, it's Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge, yeah. It's something about late in the evening.
Yeah. My three youngest are better than me in English. It does suck because they're better than you, but it's actually good. If there's one thing I want my children to know, it's 2 languages.
I mean, and let's be fair too, Remy's kids, the age they're living in, they're watching a lot of stuff on streaming, YouTube, and there's not a lot of like French Canadians on YouTube, like a lot. You know what I mean?
I learned English
that maybe the kids will watch.
English for me was, I know this is like very highly sensitive subject. I learned English with Disney. Okay. And I didn't pay attention to the details when I was young because my best friend was of color and my best friend in college was gay. So I didn't pick up anything when I was young. So I learned English with that. And then I learned how to pronounce my words with singing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So there's classics in, there's a Bon Jovi classic that I used to sing like my lungs out.
There's Living on a Prayer.
Yes, no, that one, but another one.
Bad Medicine.
No, it's a love song.
Always.
Yeah, Always.
Oh, yeah, it's one of my favorites of theirs.
Always, and then that song from Aerosmith, from Armageddon.
Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Yeah, I would sing my lungs out to that, and I would correct my pronunciation by singing, and then break every window around me, but
I know we were telling to the kids, I said, when we were small, when we were younger, we didn't have cartoons that would be on any day of the week, all day. I said, we had cartoons Saturday morning
and
from
Sunday.
8 in the morning to roughly about 11. Usually the cartoons around 10 and 11 were kind of boring. We didn't maybe always watch those ones.
Yeah, it was early in the morning.
We'd have our bowl of cereal on the floor. We'd watch our Saturday morning cartoons, and that was it. We didn't see cartoons again unless there was like a special on.
Yeah,
and then,
Christmas.
And then Sunday, because we're on the border, because we live right next to Canada, we would get CBC, and they had Disney on Sundays.
Nice.
7:00. And Wonderful, The Magical World of Disney. And it was so exciting when it was a cartoon that was on.
Darren, come on. You know a couple of French words. You don't have to break the rule. Darren, don't give up. French is really, really hard. Any word you learn is a good step forward. I spoke English in, how would you pronounce this? I spoke English in Afrikaans. Is that how you pronounce it? Before I was 4 fluently. How would you pronounce this? Afrikaans? No.
It's Africans.
I don't know. I'm massacring the name properly. Biggest issues, everyone always switches to English for me when they realize I'm French. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually am guilty of this. So if I see someone struggling in front of me, I let that person struggle a little bit because, they're going to try. And at one point, I kind of go, okay, so you've tried your best, but we're not getting anywhere. So I switch to the other language. So if I see someone thinks I'm English and speaking to me in English or in French, and they're struggling so much to speak to me, I know they're almost dying trying to speak to me, I switch because at one point, that poor lady or that poor guy, I was going to go, come on, help me out. Throw me a bone or something. So I am guilty of that. But then they could learn from this experience. They tried, they weren't able to communicate. Or I just give them, if the person is trying to speak English and they're looking for the word flower, let's just say, oh, you mean flowers. You're looking for the word flower. I try to help as much as I can, but sometimes
Yeah. Yes, Angela, we'd go out, we'd play all day to lunch. We'd come home, we'd have our lunch, we'd go back out again, play all day, come home for supper. If it was summertime, we'd eat supper. We got to go out and stay until it was just about dark. Come home, Mom would throw us in the tub, get cleaned up, get in our jammies, and we were lights out.
Yeah, definitely.
We've been playing all day, right? So
South Africa, there's good wine in South Africa. There's
actually, South Africa has a nice accent too. That's a pretty
so Desmond, on your picture, are you the full beard or the goatee?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there, he said, you spelled it out. It's Africana. I hope I'm saying that wrong. I don't have the talent for language. Now, David can do an accent from a lot of places. And I'm like, how do you do it? And Grace can do it too. She can kind of, in a little lesser extent, Aiden, but I can only do Georgian, the Southern one. I can't do an English accent or anything. I can't do it. It just doesn't. I can't do it.
Okay, so Darren says that his wife never said, "Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?" It would have been funny. It's a first time for us, so we may fail too. Okay, so you're talking about the cannabis. I have new information on that. I've never tried to grow that.
Nope.
I have a friend that wanted to start it from seeds. She failed miserably on and off. And then her dad brought her seedlings, but from what I've heard, they require so much that her seedlings never reached what they were supposed to. But then outside. Yes! Who's guilty? Who would read or play the games in the back of the cereal boxes?
Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Do you remember when cereal came with prizes? Like,
Yes.
are you
With
I mean, you are a
spoons.
little bit younger than me, but remember when the
It came with
cereal used to have a
spoons.
prize and you used to we used to beg our mother, "Can we get this one too? Please, can we get this one? Oh, you said you don't like that one, but look at the prize."
Yeah, I want the prize. No, so I had spoons. There was like little stickers, little tattoos. But now you have to mail in something. So you have to pay for these, I don't know, for you to get the prize, you have to pay for the postage to send your,
Mhm.
it's a
I
little
mean,
different.
we only bought there's sometimes you'll have, like, free movie tickets, I think, on the back of the box that you
Yes.
can cut out.
Yes.
Yeah, and I even haven't seen them in a long time, but we don't buy, like, a huge amount of different kinds of cereal, like, for the most part, if we buy any, it's pretty much the same, and they're usually not the brand name, and the no names don't have the
No, they don't. Oh, Annie, you're mean. If someone struggles, I switch right away. No, well, I before my mom's accident. So my mom had un trauma crânien, so cranial,
She had traumatic brain injury, didn't
yeah,
she? Like, yeah,
severe
yeah,
brain damage. So she lost 10% of her brain. So her 10% of her brain died. And that means part of her brain like didn't come back. So short-term memory is like, yeah, and long-term memory is it's not gone, but she's lost a couple of stuff. So when she speaks to me, she says something because like her brain's damaged, so she wants to say, "Oh, I ate steak for dinner." But instead of saying she ate steak for dinner, she'll say, she goes on, "Oh, so I had tomatoes for dinner. So your dad cooked it medium rare." So there's people that would correct right away. Oh, you're not supposed to say that. Blah, 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 blah. So I would say to my mom, "Oh, mom, it's not tomatoes, it's steak." Or, "Oh, mom, did you mean steak?" So after going through all of that, she had to relearn how to speak, relearn how to think, relearn how to do laundry, walk, and everything you have to to relearn.
yeah,
Uh, I prefer giving the chance to the person to actually try first. And then if I really see the person is struggling, well, then this is where like I switch. But I saw my mom frustrated on so many levels, so many times because she forgot words. Like I try not to let the person get to that, but I at least let the person try,
yeah,
because that's how we learn.
yeah,
Like if I would like to my mom, like she's 7 years old, she's gonna go, "I'm not a
yeah,
baby." Da, 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 da,
yeah,
da. And it kind of like kills any place for learning
yeah,
abilities. Obviously, if I'm talking to a teen or a young child that's like struggling, like there's no tomorrow, I'm not gonna let the kid like suffer.
yeah,
But like I use my judgment a little bit.
but
But that
yeah,
definitely
um,
changed us.
I just wanted to yeah, Karen, they outlawed toys and cereal in the States years ago. I mean, you're no longer allowed because it's kind of like having how they used to have mascots for like cigarettes. They outlawed that too because it was, you
In,
know,
he was in,
basically advertising to kids,
yeah.
and yeah, there hasn't been I'm trying to remember. I probably was maybe a preteen or teenager when you no longer got toys. It's been a long time since they allowed to have toys. But man, those were the days getting that toy and the
So I'm trying to pronounce this now. So Ekri Kana
Yeah, I
Kahakana.
think he corrects himself later, so I don't think that's right. I thought it was
Okay,
actually
so Adri. How many A's do
Adriana.
you need? So Adri Kehan
Yeah.
Afrikaans.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It just sounds like we're saying African.
Okay, so it's not happening. I'm not pronouncing it right.
Yeah, that is Our Better Life. I forgot actually she's from South Africa, Charlize Theron. I completely forgot. And yeah,
uh,
it
did did Desmond respond if he's the one with the goatee
yes,
or not?
he did. He did. He said
Uh,
he is the one I'm on the right, he said.
okay, well, which right? So the full
Like
beard? For me, the right is the full beard, and I think it's shaved head. I'm on the right.
For me, looking at it, the right is the guy with just the goatee.
Okay.
This is what I'm looking at. That's my right.
Okay, so my kids can't eat breakfast unless they have something to read.
Yeah, I usually had. I'd read the. Do you remember when we used to get the newspaper? We used to get comics in the newspaper section,
I
and I used
wasn't
to
allowed to
read.
read it.
I would read the comics, and then when I got a little older, I would read. Okay, this is really. I would read the Dear Abby section, the advice column that people would write in, because I'd read them out loud, and my parents and my sister and I, we would just howl at some of the things people would write in, looking for advice and stuff.
My dad would get the Gazette, and it
But
was like illegal for us to touch it. It was like his reading
oh
material for
yeah,
toilet time.
well,
So
we couldn't, like, when we came, dad was like, don't you take anything out. I'll go through it, because he had to have like the news, the sports section, but we were allowed to have the yeah, it was, yeah, we couldn't touch it until dad looked at it and took
yeah.
out what he
Can
wanted.
you? Okay, I'm trying to picture this. Okay, you know how the Gazette was big, right?
Hmm.
He was on his toilet reading the Gazette. Like, wait, let me zoom out. Okay, so he was on the toilet reading. Oh,
Oh, but
whatever floats his boat. But still,
yeah,
my mom rarely bought the fun, sugary cereals. I grew up on Frosted Flakes and Corn Pop.
Cookie Crisp cereal was my absolute favorite. It still is. I love it. When
I
I was
can't.
pregnant with Grace, and I don't eat them now. Now they're just like insanely sweet, and I couldn't eat
I
them.
can't eat
But
them anymore.
Fruit Loops, Fruity
Oh
Pebbles,
yeah, Fruit
Cocoa
Loops,
Pebbles.
Frosted
Now,
Flakes.
I will tell you, Fruity Pebbles here is totally different from the Fruity Pebbles I grew up with. Like,
I find
totally.
that I tasted Corn Pops. I don't know if it still exists.
Yeah,
A while back, and I find it tastes different. It
yeah.
does not taste well.
The
From what I
Fruity
remember.
Pebbles here, they were almost like 3D puffy, and that's not how they are over home. Over home, they're like very flat and crunchy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been a long time.
there
Maybe they
was
changed. I
so
haven't
there
had
was
Fruity Pebbles in like 20 something years, so maybe they've changed them. But
so I had
who's
Alphabets,
the other
Sugar
one?
Crisp, Honeycomb, Frosted Flakes,
No,
Fruit.
those are Canadian. Like, I wouldn't. I mean, we did go over into Canada shopping
Yeah,
sometimes,
those
but
were
those
like
aren't. Those are
two.
Canadian. Yeah, sugar, Cookie Crisp, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms.
Lucky
Oh,
Charm, we didn't have that. It came
yeah.
later. It came later.
My sister would eat all the marshmallows and leave all the yucky cereal. I'll never forget it. When Cinnamon Toast Crunch came out, probably when I was 8 or 9, I think, when that first came out, and we loved
Uh,
it. And it's funny because it's one of Aiden's addictions. Like, he's actually not eating it as much as he used to, so we're getting there. But because I'm not crazy that he eats it, but I mean, you know, I I've learned to have to compromise because of his
yeah, there's
neurodivergent
certain
thing.
battles that
Well, it's not necessarily something he can control. I mean, he has issues with his diet, and yeah. So,
well,
but I'm
when he gets older, there's certain things that can change,
yeah.
and you'll fight that battle when you get
Well, he
there.
tries. He tries. He is trying, and there are, some things he just it's textures, and if things smell funny, if things are a different weird color, there's a lot of things that go into it. But I just want to say, I remember David saying how his mother, they used to get the big no name puff wheat cereal.
Yes,
And she tried to tell them it was Sugar Crisp, and they're like, "This isn't
that's
Sugar
not
Crisp."
Sugar Chris. No, there's like no sugar in that one.
They would pour all the sugar on it, trying to get it to
Yeah,
taste better.
interesting that Charlize Theron worked so hard to lose her accent.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
actually massacring her last name. There is like
Charlize
a clip I
Theron.
watched. We don't pronounce her last name correctly.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
beautiful woman. Charlie, Charlie, Charlize
Yeah, I
Theron.
just see Remy saying I gotta get going soon too. I still have to go. I stripped our bed and everything, so I still gotta make
No
my
worries.
bed.
I'm gonna stay like maybe like 10 more minutes to read all the
But
comments, and then I
just
can go.
everyone, if you want to check out Annie, will be over on my channel on Wednesday. We'll be talking a little bit more about the
Okay.
collab, and yeah, I am super excited.
So
Um,
in case you guys just popped
yep,
in late, so there's gonna be a total of 10 recipes.
yep.
Lynn's gonna have one day, I'm gonna have the other. So you won't know until the first video goes out.
Mm-hmm.
Haha. So there's gonna be Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Thursday, same thing, 3 p.m. Eastern
Yep.
time. So there's gonna
A
be
playlist. We will have a
there's gonna
playlist.
be a playlist that's gonna be added to every video. And some of the videos are linked.
Yep.
So some will be challenges, some will be linked towards each other. And did I miss anything? I don't think so. Oh, obviously, we've tried to use recipes that has a high quantity of molasses. Like it's not just like 1 tablespoon. Some has like
Yeah, like
a lot. It's
yeah,
not
like we're
like flour. Obviously, is probably gonna be the main one for the dough recipe. But
yeah.
there's like a. It's not like just recipe 1 tablespoon. Um,
I'm just looking at my
there is
even my breakfast recipe that we're going to be using uses a good amount
yeah
of molasses. Like that was
there
probably the biggest challenge trying to find recipes that
had a
don't use
lot.
a teaspoon.
So there is one thing we forgot to say. So, a way to add a lot of flavor to
Yep,
your recipes
it's
is
molasses.
to add molasses instead of adding like sugar. If you can add
Yeah.
wet sugary
I mean,
stuff,
molasses has still got a high sugar content, but it has all those other things in it
yeah.
that are good for you, and you're not eating like 6 cups of this. So I mean, and it's cheaper than honey right now too per pound. If you look at it that way, like molasses is cheaper than honey.
Honey is
I
getting super
It's so
expensive.
expensive. I priced it out today. It's actually even cheaper than organic cane sugar per pound, depending on where you get it. Some places you're going to obviously get a better deal on the cane sugar, but average, it is cheaper per pound to use molasses.
Wasn't allowed to read the comments for a long time. I love Dad. Cheerios, cornflakes, shreddies. We didn't have shreddies. And puff wheat. Raisin bran. My dad used to eat raisin bran.
Yes, my mom. Yeah, I think my mom still does. But yeah, we wanted to make sure we found recipes that are going to use a. I'm hoping, like, I have a huge jug of it, and I'm looking at these recipes. I'm like, I don't think I'll have to get more molasses for this.
I
I
hope
think,
not. But there
but
is one that I'm very sad. I wanted to find marinades. So I
yeah,
might squish in
yeah.
something
I
extra.
I have one for pork that I'm actually going to make myself because it just sounded so good.
Yeah, it
So
does.
I
So
have used sorghum, Angela. I have used it. It's
hubby
basically the same thing.
that's not for me.
No, nothing's the
Hot
same
tub
anymore.
time. Hot tub? How dare you?
I'm too tired to get into our hot tub. I'd probably drown.
Is it okay for us to post videos? Yes, you can use. You can just say that it's something you want to share. Like I said, for now, it's not an open collab. It's just us sharing to see how popular this can pick up. We have no idea.
Yeah.
Like it could
If
be
we yeah,
like
if we think it seems like it's gonna be good, like Annie and I were saying, like next January, we're gonna plan like an actual invite people, give everybody a day, like make it bigger. But I just didn't have the brain capacity to do another collab. It's a lot to host a collaboration.
I think open collab is less complicated.
It is, yeah. It's
You
yeah.
have to police less.
But you don't have as much control either. And I'm the first to admit, hi, my name is Lynn, and I'm a control freak. I am.
Well,
I am. So, but it's certainly, I've done 2 open ones now, and they were certainly a lot less stressful to do than the other ones.
uh, it's okay to okay.
I
I
think
love
when
that.
when you're doing a giveaway, a closed collaboration is better because you're doing giveaways, so it's harder to do an open collab. But yeah,
I think I was telling this to
my kids never like
Madeleine.
your paws.
So I wanted to buy cookie cutters of like bear paws
Mm-hmm.
and use the batter I just did with the
Graham.
gray ham, yeah, and make bear paws and cook it just maybe a little bit less. So instead of being crunchy, it
Yeah.
would be like soft or make it thicker.
Yeah. My kids never liked the bear paws. They never cared for them.
Well, I don't like them. I don't like the ingredients in them. I
Yeah.
don't like the taste in them. And they get like sandy very
They
like
have like an aftertaste. Like when you eat them, they have like an aftertaste. So,
correction.
well,
10
yeah.
years ago they tasted great. So when my
Yeah.
niece was very young,
Yep.
she loved the little fishies, the golden crackers
Yep.
fishies, and she loved paws. And I would obviously, because I was giving them to my niece, she would feed
Yep.
me obviously food. I find that they taste different. And
Yep.
she's 16 years old now, so
Yes. When I had my daycare and I had kids who liked them, and I find the brownie one was really good. Now it has this weird aftertaste thing. The last time, I mean, it's been a long time since I've tried them, but yeah, I didn't care
since
for them.
everyone is heading out, I know I've missed a lot. So the live of Tuesday, I should wait. I'm gonna wait because live of Tuesday seem to be popular. Should I make this a regular, like once a month? Talk about a specific subject, like I did coffee and seeds. Whoever is here, is it something I should do, like coffee conversation, Q&As? Because I was able to like speak 3 hours and a half on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going back to daytime, except for except for this week. I'm going to go back to daytime because it's just too hard for me in the evenings. It's just I tried coming back to the evenings again, and
When's
it's
yours? Wednesday, right?
Wednesdays. Yeah, but I'm going to go
Okay.
back to Wednesday mornings, I think,
Okay.
because
Oh,
I just
CR! We've talked about food. You've missed it.
but
I've got to go pack
yeah,
up.
I'm gonna get going myself. So I'm gonna say goodnight, and so you can wrap up whatever you want to do. And
Sure. I'm
I'm
going to see you a little
so
bit.
excited for March. I'm
I
like,
am
I
too.
can't wait, and to be able to do this with my friend, it's gonna be so much fun. So
See you on
yeah,
Wednesday. So I'll be
see you on
live
Wednesday.
on Lynn's channel Wednesday.
Yep. So
At
Annie,
7?
I'm gonna be on at 7, but Annie will be a little bit late coming,
Well, it
which is
depends how
fine.
the kids cooperate. So it's going to be
Yeah.
between 7 and 7:15.
Yeah. Okay. Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
So CR, hello, hello. So we talked about food. So since you just picked up, Lynn and I are hosting like an event with Molasses. So it's going to be Molasses Madness. So there's going to be a lot of food coming during the month of March. Good to know. I was hesitant to start doing lives again as we both. Okay, so I find that if you want to answer, it's okay. I'm going to do probably a community post. So Tuesday I did seeds, coffee and seeds. I did obviously go off subject, but I have a subject that I wanted to do, which is around seed. It's seed starting. So I was wondering if I should do a live event to say how I get started with my seeds, or if I do a video. We're just 7 of us, so I don't know. So I might do a community post about this, but whoever's here, I would love to see what you have to say. Yes, March in the kitchen. So to give you an idea, there's going to be 10 recipes. Lynn has 5. I have 5. There's going to be videos posted on Sunday, videos posted on Thursday. Both of them will be 3 p.m. Eastern. So don't forget to hit that little, if you're subscribed, but you haven't hit the little bell, that's next to subscribe. Do that. And there's going to be breakfast. There's going to be a dough. There's going to be a full meal. Some of the recipes are interlinked. It's going to be really fun. Yeah, I'm going to do a pool because we're just 5 here. So I'm going to go. I'm going to say thank you for coming in. It's fun. Who's ready to see all these molasses? In French we say molasses. In English it's molasses recipe. After that I'll tuck in early because I did do a sour bread dough. I have to go put it away. Well, thanks for passing by. I will see. I might do Tuesdays live. If not, I have a video that is scheduled to come out on Tuesday. And it's totally different. It's not about baking. It's about something about the homestead and fun stuff that's coming for the new gardening season. At least I got the tail. And yes, I will catch you on next Sunday. Take care, everyone. Bye.